Everybody, how's it going? Got a bunch of Charizards lined up there, and there's a reason for that. Because I bought the most expensive Pokemon card that I've ever bought in my life. It's a first edition Charizard. It's right here. And, let's just get to it and show it to you as I talk and explain stuff. So, I bought this the other day, paid $8,200 for it. That's a lot of money. It's the most I've ever spent on a card. Here's what it looks like. It is in perfect condition. I mean, I've got 9s out of packs before, and they look like this. So I don't know why PSA gave it an 8. I mean, the guy was having a bad day. I mean, it's not perfectly centered, but seriously, to knock it down 2 grades because of that centering, I mean, it's more here than up here as far as the centering goes in the front. Look at the back. You see no edge wear. I was going to take the camera off the tripod and let you look at it closer. I mean, it's awesome condition. And I'm always afraid to buy a first edition card because there's so many scammers out there. I mean, look at this. Look at this, right? So here's a Pokemon card that somebody made. Custom made. First edition. Somebody paid, and somebody bid it up to $700. Look at that, 59 bids for that. And I've seen some of this guy. I think he's in Ohio somewhere, Hilliard, Ohio, I think. And who is buying this? This just reeks of Hilliard, Ohio. I was right. Let me go to the original listing and show you what the card looks like. Who is buying this? Yeah, I know it's fake, but that's a lot of money spent on a fake. It's I think they're buying it to scam people. That's what I think. I mean, is that card going to be thicker? What did they do? How did they make it? I didn't email the guy, but somebody paid $700 for a fake card. Yeah, that's a lot cheaper than paying, look how much, the prices have come down for these. I'm sort of jumping around here, But look how much a 9 is. So just say $20,000 for a 9. That's a lot cheaper. Because I got data. You know me and my cards, right? So here's some prices right now. Mine I bought outside of eBay. If I would have bought mine through eBay, it would have been $9,000 like this one right here. Okay, there's just some prices, right? Look at what they were a year ago. It's going to shock you. Look at this. Here's from 4s all the way up to 10s. These are sold prices right here. I got this out from a year ago. This is data I took a year ago. I wrote it down. They were around December, January, February. Not even a year ago. Well, actually, that's more than a year ago because it's 20 to 2021. Anyway, you get the point. This is 1 to 2 years ago, right? Look how much an 8 was. $15,000, and somebody paid $59,000. Did they really pay for it? I don't know. Okay, but I'm sure people probably paid anywhere from $15,000 to $23,000. And what did I pay for mine? So if you want to buy a first edition Charizard card or anything that's expensive in Pokemon, now is the time to buy it because prices have come down and they're going to go back up. Okay. That's my opinion, okay? Look how much 9s was. $63,000. Somebody got a deal for $22K. Look at that. Remember I just showed you could buy a 9, what was it, $20,000? That's a lot cheaper than these prices here, okay? Now, I don't know a story about all these cards. This is all a lot of money. I mean, $8,000 is a considerable chunk of change for me, I would say that's a lot of money, $8,000. $4,000, not so much. 15. That's even more. So anyway, there's some prices. This is like I said, December of 2020 and January, February of 2021. And then I just showed you what they were. And then here are some prices nowadays. Look at the price differences. Those are a lot cheaper. These are all sold prices too. Not just like somebody wanting to get some money. You know what I mean? So, anyway, let's back to the card that I bought, because that's the main thing of this video, is to show you that card. Okay? I mean, this is really nice condition. I worry about, see, it's shadowless. You see no shadow there. Like, here. This card, we pulled out of a box, and we sent in to get graded. So this card came out of the pack, and was immediately put in a sleeve, and then eventually I sent it to get graded. And what did it get? A 9. I mean, so if you buy a booster pack and open it up, you could get an 8, 9, or 10. You're probably going to get a 9. A few of them are going to be 10s, and a few of them are probably going to be 8s for some reason, depending on how picky PSA is, or one of the other companies like Beckett. I mean, I can't believe it's only got a 9. Come right out of a pack. Again, they really hurt for the centering. You know, like if you would have gave this a 9 on centering, this could have been a 9.5, which I'm fine with that. You know, at least it's not a 9. You know. So anyway, you know, that's what you get when you get a card right out of the pack. You can only get a 9 sometimes. You know. So this one was probably handled a little bit, or it came out of a pack and wasn't as high of quality. Back then, you know, things were different. This is 20 years ago. You know. So like I said, I've been wanting to buy one. Because I have a lot of Pokemon, and you know, honestly, the reason why I want to buy one of these is because people talk to me a lot about Pokemon, and one of the questions they'll ask you is, do you have one of those Charizards? I'm like, yeah. And sometimes they'll say, do you have the first edition one? And I would say no, but now I could say yes. And I was always afraid to buy one because I didn't want to get scammed, so instead of buying a loose one, I bought a, and send it in and find out it's fake, you know, because they're really getting good on fakes. I bought one that was already graded. So I would like to send this in to Beckett and get a better grade, because I think I could get better than an 8. I mean, look at that. I mean, what'd they do? You know, nail it for the surface or something? You know, so like, honestly, I really would think about sending this in. This and that one Japanese one. I mean, like, yeah, it's the only thing I can see wrong with it. It's a little bit off center, you know? And, I mean, it looks awesome. I don't know if you can see that, you know, in the video, but like, there's no edge wear. Or if any, there's very little. I mean, this is a great example, you know. I've seen other ones on eBay too that like look really great and don't have that great of a the grade is not that high. Then I see other ones that look like exactly what they should be, you know. And I just don't get it, you know. This has great eye appeal. Like if I want to collect one of these, this is what I would. You know, I would buy one of these because it looks great, you know, irregardless of what this number here says, where it says an 8 or a 9. So anyway, this is what it looks like. And I looked at it. Oh, here's how I got this, right? I'll tell you about that first, okay? So a guy named Joey over in New Jersey was getting married, and he basically used the funds from this to help do his wedding. You know, buy his woman a ring and get married. And he bought it a long time ago for a fraction of what he sold it to me for. Not through eBay. That $8,200 is not through eBay. So thanks, Joey. And so, you know, whenever I get a card, I worry, am I going to get a fake card or not? But after talking to him, I was not worried, because he had a Venusaur and a Blastoise for first edition. They were both 8s too. And like the day after I was talking to him, the Blastoise sold. Yeah, I think he still has the Venusaur for sale. So obviously he collected all 3 about the same time when he bought this, when they were a lot cheaper. So it's not like somebody, you know, running a scam. You know what I mean? But I try to look at these cards with one of these. And I suggest if you can find these on eBay, and get the one that has the LED, the light pointing down, like it's not straight, because the ones that turn straight don't seem to work as good. This here, if you like look in this here and then turn on the light, You can look at the card and see all the print marks to see whether it's a real card. This works good. I bought one of these. It's a micro pocket microscope. This gets even more detail, but like it's sort of like it gets too detailed, you know. And I bought one of these just so I could look at cards detail too. These are really this stuff is all like $10 to $15. Okay, doesn't cost a lot for those. Those are cheap things to buy, so you can look at your card under that to see whether or not it's could be a fake card or not. But the best thing I would suggest is if you want to know you have a fake card or not, take the card that you're questioning and compare it to one that you already have. So I would compare this Charizard here to a first edition Charizard that I already have. The trouble is, I never bought any first edition Charizards because I didn't think they were whatever. I don't care if it has that symbol on there. I wish I would have. I could have bought them for $100. I could have got a Mint 9 or 8 for $100 20 years ago. But I didn't. So and now I spent a lot of money to get one. So I can't compare that. Like all the Magic the Gathering, the Power 9, no problem. I got those cards back when they were like really cheap and there was no fakes out there. So I can do that with any Magic card. But Pokemon, I don't have that. I don't have the ability to do that because I didn't collect those cards back then. I've got regular Charizards like this, but I don't have first edition. And the regular first versus the first edition do look different. Here, I'll show you. Let me take the bag off of this. I got some other stuff to tell you too. So what I noticed about the difference is the which is Pokemon Power right there by my thumb. Those are a little bit different colors. Like this is more purple and this is more like a bluish color, bluish purple color. I've noticed that's different. Besides the fact that like this doesn't have a shadow here and that one does. I also noticed the back, like where it says Pokemon. This one seems to be more of a yellowish orange, and this is more of a darker orange. You see that? I noticed that too. Of the differences. And these are in cases so you can't feel the card. If you could feel the card, you could tell a lot of times that it's fake just from how it feels. But you can't do that because it's already encased in a PSA or Beckett case. So I noticed that there was a difference. I also noticed, like, look at the 120 there, hit points. There it's like a more of a it's like sharper. I noticed that was a difference. So even though these are the same card, because one is first edition and one is not, they look a little bit different. There's differences. Now, I don't think this is a fake card. I'm just showing you the differences. You can't compare them. They are a little bit different. They're not exact. Also, too, see the first edition symbol there? There's different sizes of that. Okay? It's called a stamp. And it's confusing. It's the thickness of the one. I wrote it down here. If it's a thin one, it's in first edition all the way through Jungle, Fossil, and Neo. If it's a thick one, it was only in the first edition base. So the thick stamp's a little bit more rare. So you can get a little bit more money if you have a card that has a thick stamp. And I've been told that you could open a pack and you can get thin stamps and thick stamp cards out of the same pack that you just opened. Or the same box. So, back then, Pokemon and Magic were just starting out. They didn't have all these rules. They were smaller. They didn't care that much. Nobody knew it was going to grow into these huge franchises. And if I've told you this before, I'll tell you again. Pokemon is the #1 franchise in the world. Nothing comes close. Star Wars, no way. Pokemon beats everything. Okay? #1 franchise of games is Pokemon. It beats everything. Okay? And for collectability, like I told you before, as far as money goes, here's the pecking order. The first and most expensive stuff is fine art. Like, say, the Mona Lisa, right? Famous painting. Worth probably $1 billion now, right? Not a million, $1 billion. Then, after fine art, comes sports cards. Because they've been around so much longer. And then comes Pokemon and Magic. Right now, I would say that, Magic had the edge for a while. I don't know if it does. I would say they're pretty much even, you know? And then after that would be like some other card games, like maybe Yu-Gi-Oh, stuff like that. So it goes fine art, sports cards, and then Pokemon and Magic. And they're pretty close, you know? One person, you could argue either way. One could be higher than the other, you know? I think Magic probably has a slight edge right now because it's a little bit older than Pokemon, but eventually I think Pokemon's going to overtake it. You know, like if you said, hey, I have $1,000, should I buy some Magic booster boxes or Pokemon? I'm like, don't touch the Magic, buy the Pokemon stuff. It's going to go up faster, and you're more guaranteed to make, you know, more money on your investment than the Magic stuff. But even said, I have bought a little bit of Magic, you know, the current newer Magic, you know, but I don't spend the money on Magic like I do on Pokemon. So anyway, just want to show you that card, show you what it looked like, and give you some information on what's going on in the hobby. Like I said, you want to pick stuff up, now's the time to pick it up because it's a lot cheaper. Oh, so this is, I bought this December, paid $886. It's December of 2020, not 2021. So that was $800, and the one's $8,000. So because this is unlimited, it's worth 10 times less than the first edition. And you can see, you know, what 2 8s look like. Again, this is a nice looking card too. It's an 8, you know. So anyway, I just want to show you what 2 8s would look like. One unlimited and one first edition side by side. And you can see like the reddish color here. It's not reddish, it's like, I don't know what you call it. You can see like the unlimited is a little bit darker, you know. So that's what they look like side by side, in case you're wondering. So anyway, give me a like, give me a subscribe. Just want to show you the gigantic purchase I spent all my money on. Bye.